Hello, I am Peck Rosa again, and I know I did the video before just 5 seconds ago. That was about the Bills free agency. Now we are going to talk about the Buffalo Bills 2022 NFL draft and my thoughts about the draft. And overall, I think the Bills were a good team heading into this draft. Actually, they had the luxury of really having small needs that they can fill. They're already a Super Bowl caliber team, and they can just pick and choose what they want. Now, what were the Bills' biggest needs in this draft? It was obviously cornerback. We lost Levi Wallace this year, and and that hurt. Levi Wallace was a solid player, not a great player, but a solid player. But I think the Bills wanted to get more athleticism in that position. And Levi Wallace wasn't athletic. Yes, he was more of a technician. He had good feet, but at the same time, he got beat on a lot of bigger receivers out there. And I liked him, but he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Bills didn't match the offer, so cornerback was a big need, especially with the timetable with Trey White. Will he be back? Will he be full strength? Will he be the Trey White of old, coming back from that ACL injury? So that was a big pressing need the Bills needed to get. Other needs were wide receiver, running back. So the Bills had needs, but not major needs, which was great. And where did I see the Bills? Draft this year. Well, I saw it at my cousin's house, Thomas, and it was awesome. Him, me, his dad, Uncle Sammy, who he saw maybe for the first 4 or 5 picks, and then he had to go home. But it was only me and Thomas, and it's awesome because he's as big of a Bills fan as me. And we had a good time. We had some snacks and watch some awesome drafting unfold, and especially that first night. So that first night, I sat on the couch with my cousin and we watched the game, and trust me, I was falling asleep by like the 13th pick, but by the time the Bills got up, they traded up, which was fine because I was getting tired. So who did they pick? Well, they picked a cornerback out of Florida, Kaiir Elam, which is fine. Like I said, the Bills needed a cornerback. That was their biggest need. And they got just that. I feel like the last couple years, they didn't need a cornerback. I thought they could always upgrade at that position opposite Trey White. And I think they got that in Kaiir Elam. He has great ball skills. He can cover receivers well, and he's what the Bills needed: athletic. He's a very athletic cornerback that will make plays on the ball, and that's what the Bills needed opposite Trey White. And if the Bills can develop him into a great cornerback, which I think they can be, because if anything, this coaching staff has proven that they are really great at coaching these secondary players to be all pros and solid players. And I think they will do the same with Kaiir Elam, and they will develop him into a good player. And if they do that, then defenses will have nowhere to throw the ball. And you have Taron Johnson too as a good slot cornerback. So right now, the Bills may have one of the best secondaries, if not the best in the game, if Kaiir Elam can become the player the Bills want him to be. And I expect him to start day one. So that was the Bills' first round pick, which was great. I waited until the Bills the next day. The Bills had their pick way down at, I think it was like 54, 55. So we got all the way down there, and I was all excited. And then the Bills traded to like the 60th pick, and I was like, darn. And the bill and they got to the 60th pick, and I was ready. But of course the Bills traded again. So I was like, come on, Buffalo, just pick your player. I'm getting tired here with all these trades. But eventually the Bills landed on James Cook out of Georgia. And he didn't play a lot at Georgia, but I really like this pick. I really do. The Bills needed that pass catching back. And they wanted that pass catching back. We all know that because J.D. McKissick left them at the altar this off season. Should have been an off season signing. He wasn't, but the Bills got their own in James Cook, and he's a great runner, but he's also a really good pass catching back. He can he can run after he catches the ball, yards after the catch, which is a common theme in this offensive draft by the Bills. So, you have James Cook in the backfield with Devin Singletary, and I think that can be a great 1-2 punch for the Bills. So we will see how that goes, but I think the Bills have found their running back in James Cook, especially this season. If he if he takes screen passes out of the backfields and he uses that speed to get 10 yards. So I'm excited for this pick. I really am. I think he'll provide an impact this season, especially early in the season on third downs, and then they'll ratchet up from there. But that's what I think he can provide. That another weapon for Josh Allen to have. If not, if he has a lot of weapons, so that's really great. I really love this pick. The Bills' third round pick is interesting. It's Tyrone Bethard, and I think he's a guy that will provide depth at that position. And maybe a future starter if Matt Milano or Tremaine Edmonds ever leaves, maybe a potential starter in the future. So this is more of a future pick. But also shout out to Kyle Brand. He made a really good pick announcement there. I really enjoyed that. That was awesome. But yeah, Terrell Bethard, I think he'll provide a good depth piece, and we'll see where they go from there. And then the next one in the fifth round, because the Bills traded their fourth round pick to get Kyler Elam. In the fifth round, they took Khalil Shakir out of Baylor. And this is a very interesting pick. He really could have an impact right away for the Bills because he's a receiver that does something that other receivers on the Bills can't do. Run after the catch, yards after the catch. The Bills really haven't had that throughout the Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane tenure. And if a receiver can provide that element that Stephon Diggs doesn't have, Gabe Davis doesn't have, somewhat Isaiah McKenzie, but he's more of a gadget player. I think he'll have an impact in this offense. It just makes sense. Now, will he have an impact right away? I don't know. But at the same time, I think you'll see how good he is just reading stuff about the players, stuff about him, and how well he played at Baylor, the commitment he showed. I think he'll be a solid player for the Bills. So I'm actually excited about this pick, and I will definitely keep an eye on him throughout training camp and throughout this season as well. I don't think he's a practice squad player. I think the Bills wanted him If they had him in the fourth round, they could have him. So he's not a throwaway player. He's not a practice squad player. I think he'll provide an impact on this Bills team. And then the last player I'm going to talk about is the punter, Matt Ariza. Obviously, we all know him for punt god, but you know, I think he makes the team. He's a good punter. I think the big thing is hang time, holding. If he can hold, he's never been a holder, but I think he can get that down. But hang time is important in the NFL, and a lot of his punts went over, even went over the returner's head, went over his punt team's head, and the ball rolled 15, 20 yards. But I think the Bills will go through those growing pains. He'll learn, and I think the Bills will develop him. So I think he'll be okay as a punter. So the Bills have one of the strongest legs in the game, Tyler Bass, Matt Ariza, and the Bills have one of the strongest arms in the game, in Josh Allen. So that's a pretty good combination, let me tell you. So really, overall, the draft really filled in small holes for the Bills, and really they are now I think, a Super Bowl team, a Super Bowl caliber team. I think this is going to be a really good season for the Bills, and I can't wait to get it started. So until next time, I am Pat Rosa. Please like, comment, and subscribe to get some awesome Bills content, and I will see you around. Go Bills.